The Xbox Series S. We were talking some smack on it last week, weren't we? With Yakuza 900p. You know, it's supposed to be next gen, right? Oh, that was me. Okay. No. we were explaining the situation with that, right? Yakuza 900p, the Dragon Engine. No, we were talking smack on the Dragon Engine.
Oh,
that's
good.
right.
I was going to say, I'm glad I wasn't here because I'm here to defend the Series S because there's nothing wrong with the Series S.
No, we were talking about the Dragon Engine and how poorly optimized that actually is. But after 900p 60 came through, now we're talking about the Xbox Series S doing 4K, which is weird because it's supposed to be a 1440p box. But the Tourist, which, okay, look, the Tourist isn't the most graphically demanding game, I get that, but it still has the option of apparently a 4K mode. Now, I'm not sure if that is a 4K mode that's just output to the TV, or if it's 4K that's being downsampled to 1440p and then your TV then takes it back to 4K. I don't know, because I thought the Series S was a 1440p at max, and then it would figure its way out to get to 4K to your TV. So I'm not sure, but it's 6K on the Series X. They are moving that down to 4K, which makes sense because no TV is going to be like, oh yeah, 6K signal. I know what this is. So it makes sense for that. But the Series S, now 4K. We just talked about 900p last week, MVG. Now it's 4K. What's going on here?
I don't think there's a hard limit that the Series S has in its hardware that says, you know, this system cannot do 4K. I think that would be a misstep if Microsoft had done that. I think really it goes back to the games, it goes back to the developers and what they can target and have a playable or a good frame rate. And yeah, there's going to be some games that do get up to 4K that can run at a good frame rate. So there's no reason why the Series S can handle that. I think it's just going to be a lot less than the Series X for obvious reasons, because it's a little bit lower powered and has less RAM and all that stuff. But yeah, I don't think there's a hard limit on the resolution that it can hit. I think it can do 4K if the developers decide that it can run at 4K at a good frame rate.
It's a compelling offer, $300 for a 4K box potentially for some games. I guess a lot of indie games might try for that. We've heard Falconeer is going to attempt 8K apparently on the Series X, but I guess you could see some indie games that are just like, oh, we are allowed to do 4K. Well, all right, the Series S can do it, so I guess we'll do it. I guess that makes that $300 price tag look even better at that point. I think for a lot of people. And then Phil Spencer mentioned that apparently the Series S can also load some games faster as well because it's dealing with smaller assets when it comes to the like 1080p assets versus like 4K assets for the Series X. So you look at that, you're like, all right, this actually could be a pretty good $300 box overall. Apparently they're losing more money on it. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes in the future there. But you got any other thoughts on which games you think there's ever going to be a Microsoft game that actually touches 4K? It's like, you know what, we're going to go for it because we can, like Psychonauts 2.
Yeah, I mean, Psychonauts 2 could be a 4K game. I mean, it's not, very demanding as far as graphically. I mean, I think there'll definitely be some more games that target 4K on the Series S. I don't think it's going to be a huge surprise to see that. But yeah, it's definitely going to be, the exception rather than the rule, I guess, with the Series X.
Okay. Nate, what do you think about that Series S? Looking a little more appealing to you over the Series X right now?
No. It doesn't. None of that really makes a difference in the grand scheme. I mean, it's the Tourist. It's an indie game. It's not visually demanding.
Whoa.
Hey, it's
the truth. It's a good game. It looks good too.
Yeah, it looks good on the Switch.
Yeah.
It doesn't change the nature of the game overall. It's still, the S is still what Microsoft has been marketing it as. It is the 1440p machine. It's your low price entry to next gen, and it's going to serve that role perfectly fine. But if you want visually amazing games, the X is the option. If you want to see Halo at its best or Forza at its best, you're going to go with the X. S is the budget system, and it's going to serve that role well. It's going to sell well. It's a machine that Microsoft is positioning in a very smart marketing way, and it's going to probably pay dividends for them in the long term. But the X is still their focus for the intro year and probably for the first few years of the next gen.
You think Untitled Goose Game is going to be 4K on the Series S?
There's no reason it can't be.
Could be.
All right.
Might see some feathers on that goose.
Now we're getting somewhere. Okay.
The Goose is Loose Edition.
The Goose is Loose Edition.